Hi, everyone. Welcome to module number one of our Learning Disabilities Awareness course. In this module, we're just going to go through a little bit of introduction to learning disabilities. We're going to be describing what learning disabilities are, some characteristics of learning disabilities, and list a few learning disabilities that are very prevalent. And the module is set up in the way that you have a little bit of introduction. We we have a few readings that you expected to do, and a lecture video which I'm going to put in here after this is done. But when you have time, please take a look at this TEDx by Chadni Kazi. It's pretty inspiring. And there's a discussion page that would have you read this document and answer one of the prompts. Well, it doesn't say here. I'm going to make sure that that works. It says you just choose one of them and discuss them below here. Um, let's see. Oh, and there's a Quizlet. There's a Quizlet here, which is really discussing the myths and realities of learning disabilities, essentially. Okay. So that will be the structure, and just to set the stage here. Listen, 20% of student have learning disabilities. That is, they think differently, a little, like there are differences in thinking, and which means 1 out of 5 students in classrooms have this ability. And so for many students who think and learn differently, instructional strategies are expected to be a little more deliberate and tailored towards their needs. And this module is open to define what learning disabilities are and the history, discuss some of the signs and characteristics that often accompany some of these learning difficulties. So if you're ready, let's get started. So coming down here to our learning disabilities module, we want to ask ourselves question number one: what are they? What are learning disabilities? Ray, when you talk about LDs, what exactly are LDs? Now, LDs are a range of learning disorders that learn in understanding or in language, essentially. But one thing I want to point out clearly here is that learning disabilities include imperfections in thinking, in listening, in speech, in spelling, um, and they can occur as a result of brain injuries, as a result of minimal brain dysfunction, dyslexia, developmental aphasia, and some of these natural causes. Dyslexia in itself, it's a specific learning disability characterized by, let me move this out here, characterized by difficulties with accuracy and fluency in word recognition, and essentially poor spelling. You want to be made aware of certain things that aren't learning disabilities. Now, they do not include visual impairment. They don't include hearing impairment. Motor disabilities are not learning disabilities. They're not problems, as they're not issues that result in emotional disturbance or environmental or cultural economic disadvantage. These are not learning disabilities. I thought I'll point that out. So moving on to characteristics of learning disabilities, we know that they're referred to essentially disorders that manifested by significant difficulties in acquisition of and the use of listening, reading, reasoning, mathematics, and disability. So these are some of the characteristics that we look out for when we're discussing learning disabilities. I want to point out that in learning disabilities, there aren't the definition for what learning disabilities are still being debated by scholars. Scholars are still talking about the definition, but I want to mention here practically that they are they're psychological processes that involve understanding, right? So you want to make sure you take that, you understand that clearly, and understanding. I want to take this out of here. Okay, that surrounds understanding and in the use of language, which of course may be manifested through the problems with thinking, speaking, and doing mathematics, among other things. Well, each of these basically are LDs, and they are like, they have, each of them have specific type, the specific names and characteristics and features basically of each of the listening, thinking, and reading and speaking disabilities here. And as mentioned before, hearing, vision, motor problems, and intellectual disabilities are not learning disabilities. And developmental delays and emotional behavior disorders are not learning disabilities. So we are going to end this initial introductory segment here, and we're going to pick up where we left off with a few things in the next module. Thank you.